Here on Kings of the North with Matt Rhule. You belong in the North, Matt, right? Come on. Penn State, Temple, Nebraska, I think is the right place for you.
I love Nebraska, and I'm a northern guy.
What do you have, like playing football in the snow kind of stories from when you were a young man?
Yeah, I mean, I remember my last game of my senior year. We were in the Pennsylvania PIAA. We were in the state semifinals. We lost to Upper St. Clair. It was literally like 8 feet of snow around the field. They plowed the field at Mansion Park in Altoona in Pennsylvania. And yeah, so that was one. And then when I was at Penn State, I remember I wasn't playing yet, but we played Michigan. It was a snowball game. They had to get the inmates from the state prison to come in and get the snow out. And every time Michigan would catch a ball, someone would throw a snowball and hit them. So that's real football.
That's what we're talking about, man. They don't have that in Georgia and Alabama. That's what we're talking about. There's something to that, I think, a little bit. Now, you don't want to play every game in the snow, but there's a little bit of a culture to that.
There's no doubt. But it's like I go back 2 years ago to the college football playoff when TCU and Michigan played.
Yeah.
And I know they played neutral site, bowl game, but had that been a home playoff game at Michigan, no disrespect to TCU, it might have been a little different.
Yeah.
So I think weather is a part of this game. That's why what I like about the Big Ten is it mirrors the NFL and that you have to play in different time zones, different weather, and everything's not just in the same weather.
Are there things about your experiences at Penn State, playing there, the fan base, the passion there, that you see any similarities with Nebraska, the fan base, the passion there?
Oh yeah, I mean people wear their colors year long. People love their team. Penn State fans are amazing. Nebraska fans are amazing. So I think you're talking about two blue blood perennial winning programs. I've been blessed to be a part of both of them.
When you think about it, and you would do this anywhere, you have done it anywhere. You've brought programs from a place to a higher level. The opportunity to do that at a place like Nebraska, though, I'm sure you've pictured it in your head. The passion is already there. It never wanes. But when Nebraska football is back to the Nebraska standard, what's it going to be like?
Well, I think when I went to Temple, it was a place that I loved because I've been an assistant coach there. So bringing it back meant something to me. When I went to Baylor, it was a Baptist university. My dad's a minister. I felt like I was doing something right for like a Baptist university to get back to its mission and core and doing things the right way on and off the field. This is something that would be great for college football.
Yes, sir.
Like, getting Nebraska back to a program that is feared across the nation. That's what college football needs. We need Ohio State to be great, Michigan to be great. But we also need Nebraska to be great, and Iowa to be great, and Colorado to be great. So I trust me, that's a very big part of the way I look at things.
And we know, you just look at who's won national championships. They play great football in the South. We understand that. But I do think, like, when you look at the world right now, when you look at something like the Big Ten, when you look at NIL opportunities, I think we could be approaching a world where Ohio State and Michigan and Nebraska and Penn State and Oregon and Washington and Utah and some of these schools up here are competing at the highest level of the sport. I think the North in the next 10 years will be absolutely as competitive as Southern football is, because I think there are programs ready to take advantage of opportunities.
Yeah, I think once we standardize like what the playoff system is, I mean, when you have one league playing 8 games, one week playing 9 games, there's different rules, different things start to happen. It's a lot of conjecture. We saw this past year with Michigan. I mean, Michigan won it. I mean, the Big Ten's very much alive. And, I want football to be great in the South and the SEC. I want it to be great in Texas. I want it to be great in the North. I want it to be great nationally because it'll keep it strong.
And Michigan-Washington national title game. When you watch that, is there anything of like, okay, those are great programs, but as I watch that, if they can do that, Nebraska can get back to that.
Well, I think when I think about Nebraska and the lull we've had, I think about Georgia before really Mark Richt, and then obviously now Kirby's done. I think about Alabama before Saban. I think about Michigan before Coach Harbaugh was there.
Absolutely.
All these programs had hit periods of necessarily irrelevance. So Oklahoma had a long down period before Bob Stoops got there. So, a place like Nebraska, they've done it, so you can do it. We just have to go do it.
He's Matt Rhule. He's in the North. We're glad he's here. Matt, thank you for joining us on Kings of the North.
All right. Thank you, my friend.